All right, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Walt. I'm back talking about my life as a fighter and giving you guys a little insight on my training. Got a lot of clips, and so I got a lot of stuff to show you guys and a lot of stuff to talk about, okay? All right, so the main thing I want to talk about is what I'm working on in these clips. As you can see, I'm starting the video off standing Southpaw. I don't stay that way the whole time because I'm naturally an orthodox fighter, but I've been training my Southpaw for about, I want to say like 8 months to a year now. And the whole reason I've been training, working Southpaw and orthodox is because I felt like, why not? Like, I am a natural lefty. You know, I started orthodox simply because the coach at the time wanted me to. But I realized, like, hey, man, I am a natural lefty. I might as well learn how to do it. And so that's what I've been doing over the last 8 months to a year. And so the main things I want to talk about is how to switch it, right? How to train to switch it, and the things that you need to be working on when you're training and when you're sparring. All right. So the first thing I want to touch on is the simple fact that you gotta be patient with this stuff, man. It's not gonna come overnight. And even though, like, you know, I'm slowly starting to pick it up in these videos, man, it took so much time and I felt so awkward doing this at first. You know what I'm saying? So awkward and frustrating to the point where I wanted to stop it at a couple times, but I was like, nah, like, that's the whole point of getting better, is to, even if you do suck at something, just to keep trying and keep trying and keep putting your foot on the pedal no matter how hard it gets. And so that's the whole reason I kept going. All right, there's no right or wrong way to switch it or to train, right? Unless you're just completely stupid and you're fucking hurting yourself for getting dropped in sparring or fights. But there's no right or wrong way to do things. So, but the main thing I want to talk about is, man, you got to focus on the basics. You got to slow it down, like really slow it down to like remedial level, something that you might not be used to if you already been fighting a certain type of way, and just understand that, like, hey, I'm a beginner, and that's what I had to do. All right, a lot of shadow boxing. I would do like 10 to 15 rounds a day. It could be 3-minute rounds, 4-minute rounds. It doesn't matter. And I would do probably like, on average, 8 to 15 rounds of bag work a day. The reason why is because I need to repetitiously work on this so I can really drill it into my head, because that's all fighting is at the end of the day. IQ and everything is all about that muscle memory. It's all about building those good reps so you can constantly keep working on what you're working on and get better at it, right? You're not going to be able to get better at it if you don't practice it over and over. So to the fighters, the modern fighters that are out here always weightlifting and doing all this extracurricular shit all the time, you're wasting your time. Especially if you actually want to get good at a specific skill. Man, learn how to fight, bro. Your ass need to learn how to fight. Get in the gym and get on the bag, all right? Don't be looking for pad work all the time and stuff. Get on the bag, get on the pads, get in the mirror, because the mirror and video is going to tell you if you suck or not, all right? You can't lie when you get in front of that mirror. You can't lie when that video's on you, because you're going to be like, damn, man, my punch is super short. Damn, like, I don't be turning my hips over when I kick. You're really going to know what's going on when you watch that video when you're in that mirror. Now, how to switch it, there's many different ways. Like I said, nobody's right or wrong. As long as you're doing it correctly to where you're not hurting yourself or getting dropped, then there is no wrong way. But the main ways I like to train my switch hitting is to start from the basics, start from the bottom. I want to start with shadow boxing. I want to start with my bag work, and I want to really beat it in my head how to punch from Southpaw, right? And so I'm talking about doing really basic rounds, like 2 rounds of just jabs, 2 rounds of jab crosses, 2 rounds just breaking it down, technique after technique after technique, because once again, you're not used to standing this way. So you need to learn how to throw it from this particular stance. So that way, when you get ready to spar, but that way, when you get ready to fight, it could be as natural as possible, right? It might not ever be as natural as your orthodox stance, but as long as you keep trying, as long as you keep working on it, eventually it's going to get there. But you have to do that. You have to learn how to constantly beat it over the head, constantly beat that muscle memory into you to the point where you can't possibly forget how to throw a jab from Southpaw. And as crazy as that might sound, like, you might be like, man, this is easy, bro. All you got to do is just throw it. Man, it is not that easy, bro. Your brain does not work like that. Once you stand into the opposite stance and you're like, oh, my right hand's in front, what am I doing? Man, you're going to start lunging for shit. You're going to start cocking shit, stuff that you would never do from orthodox. You're going to start doing the Southpaw simply because your brain is like damn near retarded from this stance. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what? Like, that's how your brain works when it's doing something that it's not used to. So you need to make sure you remember that. You need to make sure you constantly beat these techniques in your head so it won't be so foreign to you when you use it. All right, the last thing I want to touch on is the things that you need to be worried about. Not worried, but the things you need to be definitely conscious of as you learn how to switch it, and the things that you need to be working on to prevent anything happening that could get you hurt. All right, so the main things that I want to talk about is making sure you're punching correctly so you won't injure yourself, you know what I'm saying, by hurting your shoulder or hurting your wrist or whatever, and making sure when you're sparring, and you're being defensively aware. As you can see in these backgrounds, you can see me working my checks. You might see me throw a little long guard in there every now and then, working my head movement, whatever the case might be. Simply because of the fact that, like, when you're in Southpaw and you're not used to it, or for example, you're left-handed, you go right-handed and you're not used to it, the defense is totally different. The angles on punches are totally different. So the way you might be defensively sound from one stance, you're not going to be the same from the other. So you need to beat that defense to your head heavy. I cannot stress that enough, all right? That should be more important to you than punching, because, like, yeah, you might be able to strike from Southpaw, and you might even realize that you have a nice punch from your left-hand side or a nice punch from your right-hand side. But if you don't know how to defend your head, you don't know how to defend your leg from leg kicks, you don't know how to defend your body, then you're going to be in for a long session, or you're going to be in for a long fight. Don't get caught lacking like that. Make sure you really focus on your defense. Be complete in every form, in every way when it comes to your switch hitting. Know how to defend from Southpaw. Know how to defend from orthodox, all right? Know how to punch from orthodox. Know how to punch from Southpaw. Learn how to kick from Southpaw. Learn how to kick from orthodox, all right? Do not leave any stones unturned, because if you think that you're going to be able to just get away with it, I promise you, you're not, all right? Make sure you really beat that defense into your head. Make sure you really beat in that fluidity into your head, and make sure you constantly keep working on something. Constantly keep trying to get better at something, all right? And remember, above all else, basics win fights. Don't be trying to do no goofy-ass spin shit or try to do crazy combos when you could just finish a fight with a jab or keep yourself safe with a jab cross, all right?